Hi. For those of you who don't know, I started a book club last month, and for our first book, my community voted for The Night and Its Moon by Piper CJ, and I have thoughts on it, so stick around for a little review. I'm also very tired right now and have maybe one brain cell working, as I always do when I do like these talking videos, so I apologize in advance for any stumbling over words or not knowing what my next thought is going to be. So first of all, I do love the cover. I think it's very pretty, and then right at the beginning there's this lovely little pronunciation guide, which I think is great to include in fantasy books, and I'm gonna be honest, if this wasn't here I wouldn't know how to pronounce half of the words in this book, I feel like, so I'm really glad that it was there. When this book first came out, I think 2 years ago, I had heard some not so great things about it, but even so I still went into it with a pretty open mind, and I was disappointed, to say the least. I ended up rating this book 2.5 out of 5 stars, which may seem like a pretty low rating, but I didn't absolutely hate this book, but I also didn't particularly enjoy it either, so I think it deserved a very middle rating for me, and I did end up rounding it up to like 3 stars on Goodreads, but the pacing also felt really slow to me, and there was a lot of pretty large time skips where it didn't specify how much time had passed for quite a while, so I was left trying to figure out how old the characters were now and how many years had passed between the last scene and this one, which was really strange to me. I'm also someone that loves good dialogue and banter in books, and this one didn't seem to have a lot of dialogue at all in it. It was filled with a lot of very long paragraphs with excessive info dumping, and to be honest, I was pretty bored a lot of the time. I also felt like I couldn't connect with the two main characters at all. They seemed very self-centered to me. They only cared about each other, and then in each other's eyes they were like flawless and could do no wrong, so there were no character flaws for them to work through. I actually ended up liking the side characters a lot more, and I got very little of them. So I also noticed quite a few editing errors, especially towards the last half of the book, and I usually try to ignore those, but it kind of did throw me off a little bit in this one. And I don't DNF books, that's something I don't do, but I kind of really wanted to DNF this one. I pushed through it because it was a book club book and I needed to be able to talk about it, but it was a little bit painful and taxing to get through. Along that line too, I'm also someone who has to see a series through all the way to the end, even if I didn't like the first book. But I don't think I'm going to be able to do it with this one. I think this might be one of the very rare instances where I just can't bring myself to do it. I know this was the author's first book, so there's only room for improvement, but I don't know. I don't think I'll be continuing this one, which is something I don't normally do. There's actually a quote in this book that says, "It was both sloppy prose and dreadfully unbelievable, but it was better than staring at the stones of an empty bedroom." And I think that sums up perfectly how I felt about this book. That being said, these are obviously just my opinions. Everybody loves reading different things. Everybody loves different kinds of books. I just personally didn't love this one. Like I said, just my opinions. Please don't come at me. If you like this book, that's totally fine. I just didn't. So clearly book club didn't start off with a bang for me personally, but I am excited about June's book, which is going to be Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I actually was lucky enough to receive an advanced copy of this book, so I've already read it and I'm excited to read it again, especially since the second book, Reckless, will be coming out next month, so we'll be finishing it for our book club just in time to read the sequel. Guys, the banter in that book has me kicking and giggling, and I just love it so much. So I'm excited for next month's book, and I think that's all.